So in my last video, I decided to do a speedrun in Pokemon Emerald with only a Jirachi, and it went okay, I guess, but this time we're gonna go for something a little bit harder. This time, I wanted to see how fast I could get through Pokemon Emerald only using a Regirock. If you guys do enjoy this video and want to see me do it with Regice and Registeel, make sure to let me know down in the comments below and hit that like button, of course. Before we actually begin this run, we need to lay down a few ground rules first. Rule number 1 is you could only use Regirock in battle. Other Pokemon will be caught to use H-Gyms, but they will not be used in battle. Rule number 2 is no using items in battle and no using held items. And usually my last rule is no hacking or cheating of any kind besides getting Regirock at the beginning, but you'll see why that doesn't work. And before we get into it, guys, I'm not just saying this reading off a script or something. I'm asking you legitimately, if you do enjoy this video, please hit that subscribe button below because YouTube is slowly killing my channel and I really don't want that to happen. I would appreciate it and I would be in your debt forever. And without any further ado, let's get into it. So like always, I end up naming myself Tion, set the clock, meet the neighbors, and then I go choose my starter. For these speedruns, I never look at the moveset of these Pokemon beforehand, and so when I saw his moveset, I realized that we had a big issue. If we had a non-attacking move like Growl or Leer, that would be a lot better than Explosion, and let me explain why. If you run out of any move, all of your PP, you get access to Struggle, which is obviously an attacking move. That's not the best, but it's definitely better than something stupid like Growl or Leer. Technically, you can run yourself out of PP with Revives, and you have to have another Pokemon in your party, obviously, but at this point, it's way too early in the game to do any of that. I also named Regirock Golem because that's hilarious. Also, another way to make this possible is have enough money to buy a whole bunch of potions to eventually run the opposing Pokemon out of PP, and then it kills itself with Struggle, but I don't have that much money. So technically what this means is that this is impossible, and the time to actually complete this run with only Regirock is an infinite amount of time, so I think that would be last. But let's say we found a secret technique that could somehow level us up until we have Rock Throw. I don't know how it happened, guys. It was oh, you're not supposed to see this. Oh no. In all seriousness though, I did have to hack in a few rare candies just to get Golem to level 9 so I could actually use Rock Throw, which is, you know, a real move that I could actually use and not explode on people. But from this point forward, there would be no hacking or cheating of any kind, and it's pretty evident of that because I get my butt handed to me like many times in this run. Poor May had no clue what was coming to her. Imagine your very first Pokemon battle ever and the dude whoops out a flippin' Regirock. Dude, I would just run at that point, honestly. I was eventually lured into the forest by this weird kid, then I had to fight a Team Aqua Grunt in Petalburg Woods. And just like you would expect, I was absolutely able to destroy Poochyena, and I think we're doing okay time-wise, but we really don't have a good answer to Roxanne, so you could expect me to lose a lot of time there. Unfortunately, I was right, and I did have to grind all the way up to level 17 where I learned Curse, which is obviously going to be a great move to use throughout almost this entire run, really. In case you guys don't know or forgot, Curse lowers your speed by 1 stage, but it also raises your attack and defense by 1 stage. That means if I set up 6 curses, I should be able to get past Roxanne. Eventually, I set up all my curses, and then this Geodude ends up going for defense curl a couple times, but after I take it out, this poor Geodude comes out next and takes massive damage, gets healed up with a potion, but still ends up going down. And last but not least is a Nose Pass. Now, at first, I was unsure how this thing was actually going to take a +6 Rock Throw, but after hitting it one time and seeing it eat its berry, I knew one more was enough to take it out. Unfortunately, Nose Pass ends up going for Block, the most OP move in the— oh wait, never mind. Honestly, because I stood around like an idiot at the very beginning of this run because I was unsure how to progress and I had to grind up for Roxanne, our time isn't looking the best. Our in-game time at this point is around 1 hour and 50 minutes, which is not good. But do you know what is good? Saving Pico. Every single time I restart a new Emerald save, it makes me happy to see that stupid little bird get kidnapped every single time. I love you, Pico. And finally, I arrive in Dewford Town, the home of the second gym, where I don't really know if we're gonna have too many issues. I know if we set up enough curses, we'll be fine, but I accidentally sailed back to Petalburg here, which is kind of funny. So Brawley's Machop said nope. So yeah, we'll come back to him later, I guess. For the first time in a very long time, I actually end up delivering the letter before beating Brawley. The only reason I really did this is to get some XP by beating wild Pokemon in the cave. At level 19, I decided to try Brawley once again. Right away, I decided to go for curses here, and Machop just lets me basically as I get +6, which I'll definitely take any day. 1 Rock Throw is enough to take down Machop, 1 Rock Throw is enough to take out Meditite, and last up is Makuhita. Since I used Curse 6 times, Makuhita ends up outspeeding me, going for Arm Thrust, but it only hits me 2 times as I decide to hit him with a rock throw and it takes him out. This gym did take a few tries, mainly because we are weak to most of his Pokemon and our moveset is pretty crappy at this point. But now with Brawley out of the way, we have access to Sleeport City. There's not too much to do in Sleeport City besides take on a couple Team Aqua grunts, but they were no problem at all. The thing that is concerning that's coming up though is the May fight. This battle is going to be hard because she does have a Lombre and Marshtomp that are both really good against Regirock. After a few attempts, I finally get a couple curses set up, so I'm able to take down Lombre in only a couple rock throws, and the same thing happens to Marshtomp. Last out is Slugma, and obviously goes down to one super effective rock throw, and just like that, I defeated May. Next up is Watson though, and this one's definitely going to be a lot harder. We are at 4 hours and 9 minutes in-game time by the time I actually decide to take on Watson. Voltorb instantly explodes, and while Electrike decides to set up Howls, I decided to set up a few curses, and I also have a new move now, which is Superpower, which is going to be really good against Magneton. I end up getting paralyzed, which is super annoying, but I also get hit with a Supersonic, which confuses me, but somehow Regirock breaks through and uses Superpower anyway. Obviously, because of all the curses I've already set up, it is a one-hit KO, and last but not least is a Manectric, which I don't think we'll really have an issue with. Manectric loves going for Howl, which raises its attack, but the only physical move it has is Quick Attack, and that's obviously not going to do too much here, as I'm able to take down Manectric with only 2 rock throws. This did take a little bit of grinding and a few attempts, but overall, this wasn't too bad at all. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying this video, make sure you hit that like button below and subscribe if you want to see more, because I am personally thanking everybody who subscribes and comments it down in the comments below. Anyway, let's get back into it. I need a Pokemon that could use Rock Smash outside of battle, so I pick up a Zigzagoon and name him a Gym Boy. I then eventually arrive into Meteor Falls, where I run into the red team, and then they notice me, and then the blue team comes in, and then they yell at each other, and then the red team runs away, and then boom, we have to fight this dude. Maxie leads off with a Mightyena at level 24 who has Intimidate, but because I have Clear Body, it actually doesn't affect me, which is pretty nice. I go for a few curses here to raise my attack and defense to take care of the upcoming Camerupt, and I end up going for a rock throw, missing here, but the second one almost takes it out as he gets healed up, and then he goes right back down. Next out is the Camerupt at level 25. I decided to go for a superpower here, and it was actually enough to one-hit KO. And last but not least is a Zubat, which I do not have to worry about at all, because I know one rock throw is enough to take it out, and just like that, I defeated Maxie, and he wasn't too bad at all. This was only my second attempt. But with Maxie out of the way, next up is Flannery. Now, I really don't know how I'm going to perform in Flannery's gym, because she does have a lot of special attacking fire mons that possibly can get past Regirock's decent defense. But it looks like we're going to find out the hard way. Flannery leads off with a level 24 Numel. As I lead off with my level 32 Golem here, I end up going for a curse to raise my attack and defense, and then I hit Numel with a rock throw to take it down. Next up is Slugma at level 24, and I know one more rock throw is going to be enough to take that down. And next up is a Camerupt at level 26. Don't really have anything good to hit it with, so I go for another rock throw, and does a lot of damage, and one more is enough to take it out. And last is a Torkoal at level 29. I end up going for a rock throw. It is super effective. It returns with a body slam, but one more rock throw is enough to take it out. And to my surprise, that was literally my first attempt, and I only set up one curse. I didn't know rock throw was going to be enough to take down Flannery, but it looks like I was wrong. And next up is the normal type gym Norman. Now, I'm pretty sure as long as I set up enough curses, I'll be fine. I don't even think slacking can do much damage to Regirock. Looking at our in-game time, it's at 6 hours and 18 minutes, so it's not too bad at this point. Norman, of course, leads off with his very annoying Spinda at level 27, and I instantly decide to go for some curses here, because I know as long as I set up a few of those, I'm going to be good. I also have the move Superpower, which is going to be very good in this gym, and I also learned Agent Power on the way here, so that's a really good rock move as well. One Agent Power is enough to take down Spinda, and next up is a Slacking at level 31, and I instantly go for a Superpower here to one-shot him as well. Next up is a Vigoroth at level 27. Now this thing obviously stood no chance whatsoever, as I decide to one-hit KO it with a Superpower, and last up is a Lanoon. Lanoon is at level 29, and it goes for a Facade here, but one Superpower obviously is enough to take it out. And Regirock has completely destroyed the last 2 gyms. Things are looking pretty good so far. When I arrive at the Weather Institute, the in-game time is at 7 hours and 7 minutes. If I'm going to try to get a faster time than Jirachi did, then I definitely need to speed up. The Team Aqua admin leads off with a Carvana at level 28, and I decide to go for a curse here just to raise my attack a little bit, as I go for Agent Power here, and I one-shot it. Last up is a Mightyena at level 28. Now this thing is kind of annoying. It goes for a bite here and makes me flinch, but as soon as I connect with a Superpower, it obviously goes down. The battle in the Weather Institute is always easy, but it's the battle after this one which can get kind of sticky. I also get a free cast form, and I end up naming it Subscribe ? I don't remember why I did this. I cannot remember for the life of me. yeah, it's just, I don't know. Next up is May though, and I don't know how we're gonna do. I'll be completely honest with you. This battle's not even worth going over because as soon as I set up some curses, I was easily able to sweep through our entire team. Next up is the flying gym. Now, honestly, I really don't have an answer to Skarmory. As long as I set up a few curses, I should be fine, but I really don't know how this battle's gonna go. I end up setting up a curse and then going for an agent power here to take down the Swablu because that thing loves to spam Pierce Song. And then I just continue to go for agent power here to take down literally all of her other Pokemon. I guess I just underestimated Golem here as Skarmory comes out. I really don't have an answer to this, but it seems like I had the perfect answer to literally everything else on our team. And even Skarmory takes massive damage from agent power, which I really didn't expect. It hits me with a super effective Steel Wing, but look how little damage that did. That's just crazy. I was able to completely mop the floor with Winona. I will never underestimate you again, Golem. I'm sorry. Next up is some story stuff, which is pretty annoying more than anything. I have to make my way to the top of Mount Pyre, and then I have to fight Maxie in the Magma hideout. Maxie leads off with a Mightyena who goes down to 1 superpower after I use a curse. Next up is a Camera up to level 37 who goes down to 1 agent power, and last but not least is a Crobat. The combination of flinching that happens right here, and I'm also confused, it definitely didn't help, but eventually as soon as I connect with an agent power, I take down Crobat and defeat Maxie. His Mightyena was definitely annoying because of Roar, but besides that, this battle wasn't too bad. Next I have to fight Team Aqua admin Matt in the Aqua hideout, but he's a complete joke like always. With all that out of the way, next up is Tate and Liza. Unfortunately, to take on Tate and Liza, I had to grind up wasting some time. This also took a lot of attempts to do, so you could definitely see my time decrease because of this gym. This gym took a ton of attempts to do, and it also required a lot of luck, and eventually I finally get it down to a 1v1 with Claydol, which obviously I end up winning. This gym is always a challenge for these solo runs that I do, but even using a legendary, Tate and Liza still put up a really good fight. Next, me and Steven have to take on Team Magma one last time. This battle is always relatively easy because Steven has such good Pokemon, not to mention we have a Regirock ourselves. Next I encounter the elusive Tentacle, the rare, the mysterious Tentacle who broke out of 16 Master Balls, but eventually it got tired and let me capture it. Next up is Archie for the final time. Archie leads off with a Mightyena at level 41, and we are level 54 at this point, so I'm not too scared, but I also picked up the TM for Earthquake, which Regirock can learn, and obviously Earthquake is a fantastic move. Eventually, after using an Earthquake and an agent power, it goes down, and next up is a Crobat at level 41 who confuses me, and then I hit myself in confusion, but eventually I break through and hit him with an agent power to take him out. And last out is a Sharpedo at level 43. Now, I don't even think this thing has a water type move. I just end up going for a superpower here for a one-hit KO, and I finally defeat Archie for the last time. At least into the next video. Kyogre and Groudon start fighting, so I have to go get this big lizard to tell them to stop, and then we arrive at Juan, the water type gym, which I don't know how we're gonna do, probably bad. Juan's Kingdra was super annoying, and I hated it with a passion. The only reason I actually ended up getting past it at this level is because I got super lucky with a stat raise and then a crit with agent power. Literally, Juan would just spam double team over and over on Kingdra, and eventually I would run out of PP and I would just die, and it was awful because it happened like 4 times. But eventually I do manage to take down Juan in a pretty anticlimactic battle due to me just getting extremely lucky. I then received the 8th and final gym badge from Juan. Now it's time to take on Victory Road, fight Wally, and then head on to the Elite Four. And to my complete surprise, I was able to completely destroy Wally. This was my very first attempt, and Regirock was just way too much for Wally's team. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to beat Jirachi's time, but if you guys want to see the other Regis done and then we could compare the times, we could definitely do that if this video hits 1,000 likes. Our in-game time is just over 15 hours, and I finally find my way out of Victory Road. And I stand absolutely no chance against Sydney. I waste even more time and get even more levels, and then I go pick up the TM for rest so Regirock can get his HP back when he's running low. After only getting one more level, I decide to try it again with this new moveset and see if it works out any better. After setting up literally all the curses I can, I decide to go for a rest here, getting my HP back all the way up to full as I got super close to going down there, but as soon as I start using attacks, it's one-hit KOing all of his Pokemon. It turns out if you have any kind of setup move plus rest, it's actually a really good combination. The first attempt with this new moveset, I was able to take down Sydney and level up to level 61, and that was a lot easier than I expected. But next up is Phoebe, and I doubt she'll be any easier. Phoebe leads off with a Dusclops at level 48, and I set up a couple of curses here. Then I go for an Agent Power, and it's enough to one-hit KO the Dusclops, one-hit KO the other Dusclops, and one-hit KO the Banette, but now I'm out of PP because of pressure. Earthquake is still enough for a one-shot on Sableye, and Earthquake is enough to take down the other Banette, and honestly, that was a complete sweep, and I completely underestimated Regirock again after I said I wouldn't. I'm sorry. Forgive me, Regirock, please. Glacia is pretty pretty annoying, but eventually I get a run where Agent Power gets his 10% stat boost, and I'm able to one-shot her first Pokemon, and then Warren comes out, and I'm able to one-shot it because of that stat boost. Glalie ends up going down to an Agent Power, and next up is a Celio who also goes down to an Agent Power, and the last Glalie also goes down to an Agent Power. This battle was definitely annoying, and the Agent Power boost was probably the easiest solution, so I just kept resetting until eventually I did get the 10% boost, and I was able to absolutely crush her. Next up is Drake, and I can't underestimate this boy anymore, so let's see how he does. Drake leads off with a Shogun at level 52 who loves to spam Protect, so I take advantage of that and I decide to spam Curse as soon as the battle begins. Okay, so I did this battle a ton of attempts, and finally things go my way where I'm able to get past a Shogun with some decent HP left. I'm able to tank the hit from Kingdra and the hit from Flygon. I go for rest to get my HP back, and then I spam Agent Power because I know as soon as it connects it's going to do a lot of damage, and indeed it does, and eventually ends up going down. And next up is an Altaria at level 54, which is pretty scary. I end up going for rest, but this Altaria gets greedy and spams Dragon Dance as I'm able to wake up and one-shot it with an Agent Power. And last up is a Salamence who uses Dragon Claw on me, and I retaliate. Oh gosh, I did a lot. But I am able to take the critical hit Dragon Claw and retaliate with Agent Power, doing enough damage to one-shot Salamence, and finally, it's champion time. The problem with this is that obviously Regirock is weak to water types, and that is all the champion uses. Do you think it's possible at level 63? Let me know down in the comments below because I'm genuinely curious if you think whether I could do it or not. So the first attempt, Wailord just instantly one-shotted me, so let's see how the second attempt goes. I get the critical hit with Agent Power and I get the stat boost. As Wailord gets healed up with a full restore, I go for Agent Power again, and then one more time. Next up is a Gyarados. He goes down, and I get another stat boost from Agent Power, and then I take down Tentacruel with an Earthquake, and then Ludicolo with an Agent Power. At this point, I'm completely shocked at what just happened. I got 2 stat boosts, and I'm just absolutely tearing through his team, and this is literally my second attempt. To make things even better, I end up going for an Earthquake here, and it turns out a +2 Earthquake is enough to take down Melodic. And last but not least is a Whiscash at level 56, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to one-shot him as well with an Earthquake. Let's see what happens. And it was enough, due to sheer luck getting 2 boosts from Agent Power in the same battle with these same Pokemon. That is just absolutely insane. I won this battle due to extreme luck, and listen, I'll take that any day over grinding up to a stupid level. Let's see what the final time is. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, Golem. Alright, let's see what your final time is here. It is a 16 hours and 35 minutes. Okay, that's a little bit behind Jirachi. It's just over 2 more hours than Jirachi, but overall, definitely not a bad run at all. Thanks a ton for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, like always, leave a like below and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to be thanking everyone who subscribes personally down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, like I said already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys.